Excuse me, sir. I'm a therapist, and I have a mental health channel that I'm doing where I'm interviewing people about emotional intelligence. Do you have a couple minutes for me to interview you for my series?
What do you want to ask me?
I'm asking guys about like emotional intelligence, about mental health, to kind of share their insights and advice about it. Basically, I want to kind of scale the conversation about mental health to like a wider audience. Is that something that you would be interested in me talking to you about?
Yeah.
Cool. What's your name?
Ike.
Ike? I'm Wes. Nice to meet you.
What's the name of this park, by the way?
Oh, this is Madison Square Park. Are you visiting?
No, I just moved here.
Oh,
It was
welcome.
my first day here.
Today's your first day?
Yeah, I'm just looking for apartments.
That is so exciting.
Yeah.
Wow. This is Devin. He's going to be shooting me.
Hi, Devin.
Okay. I'm going to ask you some like intellectual questions, your thoughts, your opinions, and then if you're up for it, you can say no, but if you're up for it, I'm going to do like an EQ portion, like an emotional intelligence demonstration.
Okay.
So at times we'll go from like talking about what do you think, to like kind of checking into the limbic system on what you're noticing in the more experiential world. My disclaimer for you is that I am a therapist.
Okay.
This is not therapy, so I
Okay.
have to say that.
Fair enough. Okay.
My first question is, what is, when you think of mental health, what is mental health to you?
I guess it's like just mental well-being and kind of overall satisfaction, I guess, or happiness with your current state. That's what I think about. I think anything that where you don't have that kind of natural kind of satisfaction in any area of your life, that would be somewhat of, I don't know if it necessarily would be a mental illness, but some type of kind of mental kind of, I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, so like satisfaction is a big part of that. Well-being is a big part of it.
Well-being, satisfaction, happiness, I mean, whatever,
Happiness.
however you define happiness, yeah.
Yeah. What about emotional intelligence? What is emotional intelligence to you?
I've heard that term a lot. I don't necessarily know exactly what it means. I think of it, I don't know if this is necessarily correct, but when I think of emotional intelligence, just the ability to kind of understand what somebody else is kind of going through and be able to kind of to be empathetic. So for instance, if I'm talking to you about something, but I can see that you're noticeably uncomfortable, or noticeably going through something, stress, or you're crying, or not really in, I think that's kind of emotional intelligence, knowing that the other person is not kind of like there. It's not necessarily appropriate to talk about certain things.
What do you do? I want to keep on this line. Like, if you do notice somebody like uncomfortable, crying, what's the move, or what do you feel like is the way to relate or engage with that?
I feel like just demonstrating empathy as much as possible. I think when you talk about emotional intelligence, to me, somebody who would still keep talking about themselves or their day or something, when the other person's noticeably like not comfortable and not happy, to keep kind of going on without being able to recognize that the other person is going through something and not demonstrating, I guess, like empathy for their particular situation.
What would you say? Like, how would you demonstrate empathy in this like hypothetical situation?
Once again, it would depend on the relationship, I think. But for the most part, trying to find out, just let them know that they're being heard, that they're being seen, and I'm trying to help as much as I can. But yeah, not just kind of keep going on and just being focused on things like myself.
What you're talking about is exactly a big motivation for me why I'm doing this. My hope is that people feel seen.
Yeah.
As guys talk about this kind of thing. What do you see as barriers to this kind of empathetic support or this kind of understanding between men specifically?
A lot of different things. I think a lot of it's cultural. A lot of it might have to do with your upbringing, background. A lot of it might have to do with kind of expectations in society for men to be a certain way. A lot of different things go into that, I would say. Yeah, just depending. So for instance, I'm a former athlete, and my generation of players, we had to always kind of demonstrate strength and not be able to kind of show any kind of vulnerability, no matter what the situation was. Don't demonstrate vulnerability, fear, or anything else, but just kind of like the ultimate kind of confidence. And I think that happens in a lot of areas in society.
Yeah, I see this a lot. That there's like a mutually exclusive relationship between being strong and being vulnerable. And I'm hearing you say that in the sports world and in athletics, that was the philosophy. And yet I'm experiencing you right now as very open. Like there's a warmth to you. You're telling me about empathy and understanding. Can you connect the dots for me from what you just said you learned? To
Yeah, once again, I think maybe that might have to deal with why I wasn't such a successful athlete.
Oh, really?
In my own career. And I mean, no, just being a little bit, facetious. But like I said, a lot of the people from my generation of athletes, that was the ultimate, sign of being a champion or a great. Go Bruins, an all-time great. If just being able to kind of be impervious to that, to fear and being able to, no matter what happens to you in any area of your life, to be able to kind of just lock in and focus and kind of keep that outside and not talk about it as much, not express it, not expose that vulnerability to not only the competitor on the other side, but then also your teammates, your coaches, just maximum confidence at all times. I think we celebrated a lot in society as well.
But now, is that still a paradigm you hold?
I don't think I've ever held it. I don't think I've.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't think I'm a little bit more freer about expressing it now because I feel like today there's more people are more receptive to hearing about it. I think there's been more people talking about mental health. In my generation, people weren't talking about mental health was showing a sign of weakness, where I don't think it's considered as much today.
Why weren't you marching to the beat of that drum? How did you get to be outside of that belief system?
Because I had some things that I was dealing with, so it was hard for me to be able to demonstrate that if that wasn't something that I was feeling inside internally.
It was hard for you to demonstrate that kind of stone cold.
Yeah.
Because you were dealing with stuff.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
How did you process that? What did you do? I can imagine that being a dissonance. You're an expressive person, or you're not somebody that's just like a stone, but you're in an environment that champions that. Mm-hmm. How was that for you? What happened?
It was difficult. It was difficult for me in the context of, I was playing basketball and I didn't have the opportunity to play. I was sitting behind players that were starting in front of me, so I didn't have the opportunity to play as much, and so that led to a lot of feelings of sadness, and, a little bit of depression. So it was hard for me. It was difficult for me then to kind of demonstrate this, like those things didn't affect me.
It's hard to demonstrate because they did affect you.
Because they did affect me, exactly. So it was hard to kind of hide the fact that I was going through that I wasn't happy all the time, that I didn't have that kind of ultimate sense of confidence. When you're not playing, how can you have an ultimate sense of confidence? So
right.
I think that's why it was easier for me to kind of deal. I had to find a way to kind of deal with those emotions.
How did you deal? What way did you find?
Just leaning on family and friends.
Yeah.
Kind of put my focus towards academics and other areas of my life. But for the most part, that's what I did.
Yeah. Is it easy for you to lean on people?
Certain people, not many people.
Who can you lean on and why? Not specific. You don't have to give names, but what makes somebody okay for you to lean on?
Just somebody that I feel that I trust, for the most part. Somebody that I trust to be myself completely, just express everything I'm feeling, everything that I'm thinking. It's hard to be vulnerable with that person. Yeah.
What's that?
It's hard to be vulnerable in front of somebody that you don't completely trust.
Absolutely. I think that's why people don't do it.
Exactly.
What makes somebody trustworthy for you?
That's a good question. I think for me, just I don't know. It's hard to explain. I don't know. There's not anything where I can say, oh well, I trust you. I guess it's just a matter of how long I've known you, how long we've known each other, the nature of our relationship. Close family, especially, it's easier for me because they've seen me in my worst, seen me in my best. So I feel more comfortable. I have kind of also a public persona in what I do, and so it's even more difficult to kind of express that to other people because you don't know how it could be used against you potentially, or people lose confidence in you in other areas, and so yeah.
Can you say more to that? So there's a public persona, and so it's hard to express or share or be vulnerable? Is that what you're speaking to?
Yeah, it's hard, not necessarily be vulnerable, but it's hard to share private, personal aspects of your life.
Right,
You know?
because the concern is...
Yeah, because I think that's a good question. Just because I think some people may look at it as weakness and might take advantage of it, or some people might not be able to understand it, or some people that are depending on you, that you're their rock, they see that you're vulnerable, it might make them lose confidence in you. So I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's just kind of how I'm very kind of guarded with those innermost kind of like feelings and emotions and vulnerabilities.
Yeah, I mean, as a therapist, that's a healthy mechanism to have, I believe. Because, you don't know me.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how I'm going to respond if you share something kind of very, very inner.
Absolutely.
So that kind of protective guard, I believe, is healthy as you build trust.
Absolutely.
I feel like you are sharing stuff with me today.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not just speaking about things in an abstract way. You're actually you're sharing personal anecdotes with me about your life.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a kind of trust that I feel in you as you're sharing that with me. What are you, if we do the EQ part, so like if we go from the like intellectualizing together, what are you noticing inside? How is this feeling for you to share some things with me? What are you noticing kind of internally?
I don't know. I feel comfortable. I don't think anything I've said is necessarily that.
Yeah, you haven't. I mean, yeah.
Personal or private
Not
or
that
secret.
personal.
Yeah.
But there's been, I would say, like if there's a spectrum, right? You haven't just stayed completely like objective and abstract. You've shared about this was my past, and this was the environment I was in, and these. So I'm curious how that feels for you.
I think it feels good. It feels. I mean, I don't know if that's what you're getting at,
yes.
but I think it definitely feels good. I don't want to use the word cathartic, but it does feel good to be able to express that.
Yeah. Can I pause you here? How do you know this feels good? Where do you feel good? Literally, how do you know you feel good?
So that's once again, good question. I don't feel uncomfortable more than like I feel like jubilant or anything like that. But
yeah. And if you had to scan your body, where do you feel that kind of lack of discomfort? Where do you feel that?
I guess in my mind, my shoulders, good. Yeah, I'm not as tense. My guard is not up as much.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. And I want to say, it's nice to meet you. I know that
nice
sounds,
to meet you, yeah.
But I feel like I'm meeting you in a way because the guard's not there. And it's nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice experience.
Yeah.
What happens inside of you when I say that?
Once again, I can't put my finger on anything specific. I just know that I don't feel uncomfortable talking to you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would, politely excuse myself or something of that nature. Yeah.
Right.
So I don't feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the emotional intelligence piece that I'm very fascinated by in my work, and that I think there's a lot of myth around or like confusion around. Right now, you and I are in the emotional intelligent terrain because you're noticing you feel comfortable with me. Mm-hmm. There's a light trust, I would say, and there's a kind of connection that we have, right? Because you're not guarded, you're not. What's it like to see this? What's it like to kind of like look at this together?
No, it feels good. Like I said, once again, I don't want to make it too dramatic, but I don't feel like you're threatening, and this seems like a legitimate interview. So yeah, I feel.
And your body's kind of saying this is okay.
Yeah.
How do you square that with what you were telling me about the context of professional sports, learning that? I don't know, would you say back then this wouldn't feel okay, or this would be at odds with this kind of like, you need to be a stone, you need to be like unfeeling?
Yeah, it would depend on who you were. Like if you were a coach or somebody that was evaluating me for something, or if there was some kind of consequence to our interaction, I don't necessarily know if I would be as free. So and I don't think that necessarily has anything to do with back then or now.
What about other players? What about colleagues and peers?
No, colleagues definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah.
Definitely not okay to share.
This aspect of it, no.
Even something like what you and I are doing.
Yeah, once again, it would depend on what we were talking about. But I wouldn't say to you, hey, I'm really depressed and I'm going home crying because I'm not playing that much, or I feel like a failure because I haven't achieved this. I wouldn't express that. to a teammate or a colleague or anyone else. That would be something that I would probably express with a very close family member or my wife or somebody like that.
Yeah. What do you think about that? That like there are these sort of like boundary lines and these like areas where it's not okay to share deeper parts of ourselves. And this is more of the thinking now.
Yeah, I mean, but don't you think it's kind of impossible to make connections with everybody about
Absolutely.
everything that you're feeling? So I think that.
But like your team, you're saying like a coach or a team member.
Yeah. I mean, but once again, like even though a team member would be somebody that you're in, for me anyway, either in direct competition with for a spot, so they're going for the same thing you're going through, or another teammate who's dependent on you. And they want to know that, in those moments of pressure that they have somebody there that's going to be somebody they can count on. And so that's what you always want to kind of display or exhibit to your teammates.
There's consequences, there's stakes,
Absolutely.
There's real impact.
There's reputations.
There's reputations.
Absolutely.
And those have real world impacts in terms of performance.
Absolutely.
So what does one do, what did you do, or what does one do when they are struggling and they can't open up? There's a lot of people they can't open up to. What have you found to be a support? How did you find support?
That's tough. Honestly, just like my faith, God. That's what I turn to. Yeah, I mean, there's, for me, because what you say is, it's when you're in those situations and there is nobody that you feel can understand you. Somebody that you feel completely comfortable being vulnerable with and saying anything to. Like not even close family members sometimes.
Even close family members.
Because sometimes you feel like you're burdening them with your problems. And so, yeah, that's the only place I really thought I could turn.
Yeah. I'm curious, Ike, what are you perceiving from me? Because we're talking about depression, right? We're talking about struggles you've had.
Yeah.
What are you reading from me as you're sharing?
I mean, you seem to be a nice guy, seem calm.
How do you think I feel about what you're sharing with me?
I honestly have no idea. Yeah.
Check and see.
What do you mean?
Take a second and look at my face and my eyes. How do you think I feel about what you've shared with me so far?
I think some of the things I'm saying might resonate with you and you've seen it with other people. But then I also just have a natural kind of skepticism, a little bit cynical about every interaction with people that I don't know.
What's your cynic side?
I don't necessarily know like what this is, the ultimate aim of this is, but you seem like a genuine person.
Yeah.
But I just have a natural kind of, maybe that's all, once again, part of my kind of guarded nature in a lot of situations.
Again, I think it's healthy.
Yeah.
Because we just met 10 minutes ago.
Exactly.
So part of you is like, oh, this guy's genuine, this guy's nice.
Right.
And then part of you is like, but there's so much I don't know about him, about the cameras, the microphone.
Absolutely.
Again, this is the emotional intelligence piece, though, that you're actually aware of it. It's not just happening kind of like unconsciously. And that's why I'm asking you directly, like, what do you think you're getting from me? Because I do feel, I want to tell you, I feel a lot of respect for you. I feel a lot of admiration for you.
Thank you.
I have seen this before.
Thank you.
I see this quite often, and I know it's fucking hard. And to hear that you went through that, and to hear the way that you had to kind of deal in an environment that didn't quite fit maybe your sensibility, I have a lot of empathy for that. And you're not opening up all the floodgates here with me, but you are sharing that, and that means a lot to me.
Oh. Thank you.
How does that feel to hear?
Feels good. I mean, like I said, sometimes it's good to talk about things, and it's difficult because sometimes you don't think people necessarily understand. So it's good to talk to somebody who you feel like is listening and understands.
Yeah. I wanna stretch you a little bit, if you're willing. When I ask you how it feels, don't shrug it off. Okay? When I say, what you've done, I don't know your whole story, but I do understand in some way. And what you've done is something that I admire. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want people to see that they can overcome things, that they can get support, that they're okay to share. So this is very meaningful to me, and what you're sharing is very meaningful to me. If you don't shrug it off, how does that feel inside to hear me say?
Once again, I'm not shrugging it off.
Okay.
And I thank you. It's very nice of you to say, but I don't necessarily feel anything inside, like some jubilance, like my heart's not like warm.
It doesn't have to be a 10.
Butterflies in my stomach or anything like that. Yeah, but I think we're having a pretty good conversation.
Yeah. If somebody, just a couple more questions.
Sure.
If somebody's listening to this and they see a part of themselves in your story, if they connect to you, they connect to what you've shared, what would you want to leave as like a parting kind of like nugget or?
It's a very good question. I think, honestly, and not to be too cheesy.
Cheese away.
But I feel like don't kind of give up, because a lot of people are going through what you're going through. A lot of people, you'd be surprised about how many people are sympathetic to your situation and are going through similar kind of things. And so that's what I would say. That's the advice I would give. And I think that, I haven't experienced it myself necessarily, but I do think it's, when you see stories in the news about certain people committing suicide or other kind of things, you feel sad that there was nobody that was there. There was nobody there for them to kind of help them to see reality. Whatever decision that was for them to take such a drastic step or to go down a certain path, I feel sympathetic. I feel empathy for them. I wish somebody could have intervened sooner, but it didn't have to be that way.
You are a very empathetic person. I've learned that part of you, and I'm sorry that it didn't mesh with the environment at the time. Are there people in your life that value this part of you, Ike? Like this
I hope
like
so.
Caring? You hope so?
I hope so. I think there's I don't know, the people that, once again, cheesy, but like the people that are in my life, I do care about them a lot.
Why do you keep saying cheesy? You're almost like, you know what I mean? You're kind of like diminishing it.
But everybody does to a certain extent.
No, everybody doesn't.
It's not necessarily something unique to say that I love the people that are
Why
my
not?
friends and like the people that are in my life.
Why can't we say that?
Okay, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I do care about the people
Yeah.
a lot.
And I'm telling you that's a big deal. And I think that's important because people are really lonely.
Yeah.
And you're sharing something, and if it's not too cheesy, if it's not kind of shrugged off, there's something really deep and rich here in what you're saying, is that you care about people deeply, and there are people in your life that love this part of you. How is it for me to kind of like stay in that zone with you, to kind of hold you to that and not cheese that away?
No, it feels good.
Okay.
That does feel good.
Okay.
That is something that and once again, it's not something that I necessarily like practice or try to cultivate or anything like that. It's just how I am.
Yeah. I think a lot of guys that's what we learn. And so I'm interested to kind of experiment in this territory with guys. Like we were taught, lock it down, don't feel, even something like love for your loved ones, don't share that too much. So I appreciate you kind of venturing out with me, and you're saying it feels good. I'm hearing you say like, yeah, it feels good to name that, and it feels good to kind of lean into the love that you have for people.
It does.
Yeah. I want to ask you again, how do you know that feels good? What literally do you feel?
Once again, just very relaxed, I guess.
Yeah.
Positive kind of vibe. I definitely would know if I didn't feel, if I wasn't comfortable, if I felt annoyed or whatever. Yeah. So it's definitely not that. But yeah, it feels good.
My last question, thank you for your time today.
Sure.
How was this interview for you? Like if you kind of look at the high level, we've kind of covered a lot of ground here. What was this like for you to talk to me today?
It's been good. Made me think about, the way that I want to be in the future. Maybe think about the people I care about in my life. And made me think about it.
What did it make you think you want to be in the future?
Well, I have 2 sons, and so just kind of being able to kind of have them not necessarily experience what I experienced, and wanting to protect them as much as possible. And so hearing you say that it's good to be able to, I don't know, like you feel that energy coming from me and that I'm an empathetic person.
You are.
Hopefully that's something that I'll be able to use in raising my kids.
They're lucky to have you as a father.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just the little that I know you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
All right. Absolutely. What's your channel?
It's called Street Scene.
Street Scene?
So Street Scene,
Okay.
S-E-E-N.
Okay.
My goal is to just, like I said, scale this conversation. Like I wish that we could have 100 people having this conversation with us. When you're in a competitive space, you got to lock down, but then I think it's a really important conversation.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm just really passionate about it.
Absolutely.
So I'm really interested. It's the first time I've done something like this. I've just been a therapist for the past 5 years, but I'm interested to see what are people resonating with in terms of, you know, in your story, or like when I say like, hold on, I like, don't brush that off. Like, what are people gonna think about feeling deeper into something? So I'm eager to see the response. And if it resonates, I want to do more.
What kind of therapy do you, like, what do you work with?
So I do somatic and experiential therapy. Okay. So the slowing you down, hold on, go from the brain into the body, because so much happens inside of us. Like you kept saying, like, I know I don't feel uncomfortable. I know I don't feel annoyed. There's so many signals in this dashboard that I've found that with people that have really important mental health goals, bringing that dashboard online is really helpful. So I specialize in trauma, complex trauma, emotional processing. Most of my clientele are men.
Wow.
Yeah, I really appreciate you sharing, man.
Right.
Means a lot.
Take care.
Enjoy.
Is that someone special?
What's that?
Is that someone special?
I don't know if he's famous, but he seemed very special. I talked to him for about 10 minutes. I'm trying to like assess. I feel very moved right now. What was your vibe on the conversation? Like it felt so substantive to me. What was your read from where you were?
You seemed very open
Yeah.
from my side.
Yeah.
I mean, I was only able to read his body language, and everything about his body language was open. He didn't have a whole lot of closed off body language.
Yeah. He was the kind of person where like when you meet someone and you can instantly see their soul in their eyes, and I could just see that he was like this good soul, like just looking right at him, like didn't even talk much, and you could just tell he was such a good guy, and he was very open. He was like very open to sharing. Like if we talk about those layers of like sharing or openness, like he went personal pretty quickly. I didn't have to ask him like, oh, what's a personal, specific thing that makes you, he was like, yeah, for instance, when I was young, I was in professional sports, and like we had to be closed off. We had to be like iron. So he was like super ready to go personal. It was interesting because he was having feelings. Like I could see, especially again, when I expressed my appreciation, I expressed my respect for him, you could see something kind of bubbling, and then he shrugged it off, just like Andy was doing today.
Yeah, I saw a couple of moments where you kind of called him out.
I called him out and I said, don't shrug it off, see what happens. And he knew what I was saying, but he was also just like, he said, it's just good. Like, but he kept referencing something that I hear a lot from people actually, is when I ask them, how do you feel? They'll say, I know what I don't feel. And he did that a couple times where he said, I know that I don't feel anxious. I know that I don't feel guarded by you, and I don't feel like annoyed by you. And that's often where a lot of people will kind of reference how they feel, because like, I don't feel overwhelmed, or I don't feel anxious right now. So that was cool to see that he had like access to that, and he was like engaging that. But we got into the part about love. He talked about people that he cares about and love, and he said it felt good, but there was a discomfort. And we kind of talked about like how we're taught as men, it was what you and I were saying, like minimize it, diminish it. Cause he was like, I know it's cheesy. And I was like, why do you keep saying it's cheesy? Just like feel like you love your kids or you love your family. Just do that.
Were you able to see it in his body? Is that why you?
Yeah, he lit up. He was like, his eyes, got warm, and he said, I don't want to be too dramatic. So again, it was that like kind of diminishing thing that I think we as guys do a lot of times out of survival, because if my feelings are too big, or if I'm feeling too much, I'm vulnerable, I'm weak, or whatever. But yeah, he really impacted me. I think I'm realizing it means a lot to me when guys are maybe it's because so many guys are not stopping, that when they are stopping, when they're like looking me in the eye, when they're genuinely fielding in good faith my questions, I'm like, damn, this is like a gift. Somebody's giving me a gift right here. And it like matters to me, you know what I mean? I feel good. Yeah. And it's like still happening, you know what I mean? Like it's this contagious thing that like you and I are kind of, there's a residualness to it.
There is, yeah. There is. Did you see the person that just walked by him that knew him?
Was it the girl that said go Bruins? Maybe he played for the Bruins because he was a professional athlete. He was a professional basketball player. I mean, look, you know, he's like a formidable, you know, presence of a man. Yeah.
But for as being as formidable as he was, everything about his body language was open.
The amount of kindness he like exhumed was really like impactful.
Yeah.
He just exuded like kindness and like security. Because we talk about confidence a lot of times, and like there's this like, yeah, you got to be confident, but then there's like a security that's different. There's a difference between like, you know, I'm big and like I'm secure, and he had both because he's a size-wise very big, but he just had like the way he looked me in the eye was like secure, like he wasn't like uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
Where do we go from here?
I feel so like emotionally full from both of those interviews. Like I'm almost getting a little teary because I didn't know what the response would be. And having guys, the thing is like at the end of the interviews, they want to know like what's this gonna do? Because they know that something happened, like they know that there was this experience of connection, and they're like interested in what's gonna happen next. And so I feel excited that guys care about this, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because I care about it. So I feel seen in a way that these other guys are like investing their stories, investing their time, and investing their emotions.
Yeah.
So I feel very moved. I feel very full. I don't know I'm almost wanting to call it today.
Yeah. Real quick, your approach to this person today was very different. This was a tactic where like,
I think
normally you just stop passerbys.
It's the whole, like, it's the inertia of it all. Like, he was already sitting, so he wasn't going to run away from me. So I kind of had that on my side where I knew he would at least hear me out for like 3 sentences. And I think what I was able to do was to come in grounded and low energy to create more of a trusting connection at the beginning. So if you're seated, I can come in and be like, hey, I have a question about this thing I'm doing. And it's more inviting and it's a little more comfortable. When somebody's walking in New York, there's inertia that I have to forcefully stop with my energy. But I think that's counteractive to me trying to connect. Do you know what I mean? Like, hey, excuse me, is hard. It's like abrasive, but it gets them to stop. So I think it's easier if somebody's already stopped for me to just say,
How was it with him?
What's that?
How was it with him?
It was so easy. I was just like, hey, I'm a therapist and I'm doing, and he was like, oh, like he was interested. So I didn't have to work hard to get him to hear what I was saying. And I think me not having to work hard piqued his curiosity and like invited him to kind of open up. I think the sitting is a good move.
Yeah, you've opened up a whole new door.
And I was like, I was like, do you mind standing? And he was like, sure. I was like,